Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the Forgotten Realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, hit you all out there. Idle champions, you will say again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icewind, head out the shelf, or Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the Forgotten Realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, hit you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Good morning, again. Happy Saturday? Today is going to be Gaarawarr's Guide to our brand new Evergreen champion, Reya Mantlemorn. Reya came out a whopping 3 days ago, folks. So this is going to be a ride. Oh, my code on the overlay is wrong. Hold on. I forgot. I just made a new one. Well, actually, Jay just made a new one. There. Boom. Boom. We're doing it live, folks. So yeah, Reya's brand new. Reya just arrived with the big kind of spring extravaganza content release. Descent into Avernus Part 10. We were always told when the campaign ended we would get Reya. And we did. We got a lot of things alongside that, but today we're going to focus on Reya. We're going to focus on how you go about unlocking her. We're going to look at the adventure. We're going to talk about what's going on. I will say, I prepped this, so, we're not going to struggle through this live, but we will talk about the struggles. Because if you're doing this right now, as of recording this video, 3 days, within a few days of release, it's a challenge. It's a serious challenge, and that's exciting, for me at least. There's lots of potential puzzles to solve for yourself. I will say, Reya's going to take, as the game sits right now, Reya's going to take as much power as you can possibly get to go in and do it. Yeah, and they finally kind of built a challenging variant that has nothing to do with the final boss, which is a little interesting. It has to do with the rules of the things that they put in between. So yeah, let's take a look. Hello to everybody in chat. Hello. Yeah, let's pull up. Let me switch to my other screen. So, first off, Reya is available in the Descent into Avernus campaign, and we kind of hit that all the way. Descent Part 10 the new content, Reya is going to be a variant, not off the final bit, which is up here, which is like the other El Terrell, right here, but right here, where I've got this little gray dot. I've got a mission in progress. Boom. It's a variant off Idleglen. So it's a Reya Reborn. This one's going to be fun for patron variants, but we're not going to get into that today. So, as with other Evergreen unlockables, there is a requirement for having done adventures and variants. Here it's 40, which is the bulk of the adventures and variants in Avernus. You could say I have 46 completed. So, I mean, that's total. So, yeah. You're going to have to work your way through most of this and do almost all of the variants to get this. Yep, there's Reya right there, a little preview. They're going to want... I mean, there's a reason for these requirements. Strength 10, Charisma 13 or higher. We'll talk about that in a bit. In each area, additional fiends sent by Zariel appear. One random fiend spawns at the end of the first wave. An additional fiend is added every 100 areas. Each fiend has a unique buff for effect on the area. This is the rough part of this adventure. So what that means is, you're starting off with one, and then every 100 areas you're adding another. The requirement for this is 625, so... if you start with one and then you add 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, you add 6 more, that's 7 fiends, and guess what? That's about how many there are. So by the end, you're going to be looking at all of the different varieties. We're going to talk about the different flavors of fiends, and when we hop in, there's a nice little hoverable info panel I'm going to point out so that you can get that straight from there. It's also going to be, of course I'm making a written guide to Reya. That information will be there as well. I will post that later today on the subreddit. But I figured, hey, let's do this here. Hey, look at that, folks. I'm already to 600. Like I said, I may have prepped this a bit. Just a bit. So this little hoverable here, this dark Zariel hoverable, is where you're going to get your information about the fiends. So again, each area, different fiend. There's bearded devils, there's black abishais, there's araignées, there's lemures, or lemures. I don't know how that one's pronounced. All I know is they're gross. Yeah. Maragon, Spine Devil, White Abishai. The ones you're really going to notice that really stand out are the araignées. Specifically because they're actually segmented, like they're armored. So they stick around on your screen longer. The reason I bring this up is, first hot tip, Fire Breath Potions are your friend here. Because all of these things happen until that fiend dies. Killing them off as quickly as possible is a big deal. So Fire Breath Potions are going to kill those fiends that are going to cause you trouble with their shenanigans quickly, or in the case of the araignées, they're going to kill all these trash mobs quickly so that you can get to the fiend and try to kill it off. Another hot tip: you don't even necessarily have to kill the araignées. You just have to meet your zone requirement and move forward. And Fire Breath Potions are going to help you do that in the background. So building up, a decent bud so that you can do the damages is a good idea. I think I have too much damages. I threw on. See, here we go. This is all of them coming out at once, folks. As you can see, the araignées is the one that ends up being that ends up sticking around. Everything else died either to the champions or, to the champions. I don't have Fire Breath out right now. So you can see the araignées at the end. Pretty solid health. Boom. There's the lemure. Black abishais. Yeah. So when you get up here, E186 HP, split up into multiple chunks. It took me a while to find a formation that was going to be good enough for this, but here's the thing. Coming in, Coming up to pre 600, it's easier. A lot of times you'll be able to kill all these off before they get to your lineup, and that's important. Because what happens at 600 is they're going to potentially get to your lineup. And one of these bad buffs is real bad. Let's go through these. Bearded Devil is going to reduce your gold find by 99%. That sounds scary, but it's not as bad as you think it is because of the way large numbers work. Even if you are a little worried about it, throwing in gold find potions and hard variants like this are where you want to use potions. Throwing in gold find potions will help you out a lot. I didn't bother because we were going all the way to 600. I have E37 favor here, which, I mean, it's a lot, but you need E26 just to max out all the blessings, and into the E30s to do like Tale of Two Champs Strahd, I think. So I had a lot already. The thing you just want to focus on is getting to soft cap, really. And you can do that well before that, right? That's always the thing. Try to get to soft cap to finish before you do the big bad boss. Well, I mean, when you're getting to 600, you're going to hit soft cap before that. So the favor isn't as big of a deal, but it can be helpful, right? Not necessarily in this adventure. It's just, you want to have some. The big deal, though, is having trying to max out as early as possible. You can do some overlevel, but if you are worried about gold, you can always add like a gold fight potion. I didn't even bother. I did use the huge giant strength and huge heroism because they last the entire run. So going into this, I knew that's something I wanted. But yeah, so Bearded Devil, gold find reduced by 99%. I don't find that to be a huge problem. And by the time you are doing this in your playthrough, it shouldn't be a huge problem. Black Abishai, champion damage is reduced by 99%. Again, that's just until you kill it. And again, with large numbers, shouldn't be a huge problem. Again, this is where Fire Breath is your friend, because you will have set your bud on the previous level, and then can just ride that Fire Breath damage through killing that Black Abishai, right? The Aaron, yes, champions damaged by enemies are stunned for 1 second. Getting damaged again resets the timer. So that's kind of a little tough because of the fact that that you're going to have the Aranius with armor. It may make it there. It's going to be harder to kill off. So anything that does reach your party means your frontline's getting stunned. Frontline getting stunned means you're going to lose any ultimates, which isn't as big of a deal. However, there is a later one of these buffs that's problematic, and we'll get to that. The Lemure ultimate attacks are unavailable until this enemy is destroyed. Well, yeah, that one's annoying. When it's up, if you were relying on that for something. And sometimes you're relying on that for like a bud spike. Yeah. Maragon, the damage of all enemies is increased by 200%. Again, these are the ones that your flame breath, your fire breath, should be killing off pretty quickly. Again, it only should become a problem above 600, because at that point, you're getting all of these. Spine Devil, all enemies move 200% faster. That's always super annoying, but that just means they're going to get to your tanks real quick, which means the tanks then get stunned. And then White Abishai, the base attack cooldown of all champions increased by 1 second. So, yeah, there's some interesting shenanigans that are going to go on when all of these hit your lines. And let's see what happens. I'm going to actually pull my DPS out here so you can see kind of what happens when they do hit your line. Because again, the biggest part of managing this adventure, I mean, obviously building a formation is rough, but watch what happens when these start tapping things. Notice how we get stunned and disabled effectively is what's going on here. You see Dragonbait drop into 0 damage when it gets hit before it wears off. It's a nice little short stun. It's annoying. You can see all the ultimates going in and out. Obviously, there are still enemies out here attacking, and the champions are going to come in and out. But you're not gonna get these back at all. You're not going to get these back at all unless you actually kill something, which can be, you know, problematic if you don't have all the damage you need. That's real yellow, Jay. Was that yellow for a reason? Sorry, that drew my attention. Apologies. All right. So I spent a lot of time when I hit 600 trying to figure out what kind of formation was going to work for me. I swapped all the things. So here's the other thing about this adventure, folks. You're going to need a solid bench of champions. Because if we look through here, there aren't a whole lot of options. There are some, I believe, with this. I could swap in... I want to say... Strength... Wait, hold on, let me look at the requirements again. Strength of 10, charisma of 13. Oh, he doesn't have the charisma there. Does he have a charisma feat? He does. So you could swap in Brunor here. There are going to be some feat available things, and I don't always take those into account initially, unless I really run into a hard wall and I can't do it at all. But you're gonna have a lot of different options here. Originally, I was trying when I did this the first time just as a test. I was trying with Esmeralda because fiends. She's set up. You can set her up to hate fiends and to do chunkage on things with armor, and that's always that I find that useful. And that worked to get me up to 600. But once I got to 600, oh man, the damage needed. Originally, I was using Benwyn because if you were watching my stream on Wednesday, I defeated Tiamat with Benwyn. Surprisingly, Benwyn is built to take out armored segments. So, you know, using him as a DPS worked. Didn't work here. I ended up with Baloth, working the best for me here. I had Briv as a tank for a while, but once I got to 600, I just didn't have the damage. Briv just wasn't able to buff my DPS enough. Again, getting stunned and disabling stuff was rough, so having Calliope in the back, and I have lots of item levels here, and everything's gilded, so that helps a ton. I ended up swapping, originally I tried Shandy, and then I tried Ashara as DPS, but ultimately, getting rid of Briv, I needed Evelyn as a tank. I hopped on Frida as DPS. I had tried like Freely and Cadibri as supports, but Frida's DPS is where I ended up. I had Human, and I tried Human a couple different ways. And I tried some Beetle and some Hitch. Makos was my only one available there without any kind of feats. I don't know if there are feats even available there. I didn't really ever consider Tyrell in the back. I figured by the time I'm getting this far in, I needed a beefy front line, and Tyrell and Dragonbait ended up being that for me. And, you know, there's some options here, but when I swapped in, like, Penelope and Neris, I never tried Archon, but Penelope and Neris weren't giving me things that I wasn't already getting from other places. So ultimately, this formation worked for me, but it may not work for you. Like I said, you're going to need all the power you can get here. I have also, obviously, all the blessings and all the campaigns, right? I'm not going to go through all of those, but those are maxed. I have perks from the first three, right? But not from Zariel yet, which was what I unlocked. I had all of those perks, and I had a... Oh, that's the wrong button, Gaarawarr. You do this every time. One day you're going to learn. I had a maxed out Modest Core. So level 15, full epic flow. It'll get purple eventually. It takes so long. There it goes. which obviously is a lot of power, right? I think I've talked about this before on stream. This core fully maxed out like this will get you 100 levels, right? It took me all of this to get through the 600 to 625 gap. Because once you hit 600, when all of these things are coming at your party all at once, and you're effectively, you know, all your ults are disabled, you can potentially fire off a couple of these as they're rushing at you. But without the DPS that I had, I mean, obviously with this and with potions, it was a pain. It wasn't going to happen for me. And ultimately this kind of got me there. So fast forward, because guess what? Obviously I found a formation that worked, and it cruised right through this while I was AFK. The final boss fight is just a normal boss. It's not a major boss. I mean, it's a big dude. It's a Gaarawarr. I don't know. I just say it with marbles in my mouth. Gaarawarr. I think that works. This big bad boy, he's got effectively 8 E193 HP. That's a lot. So that's where you need to know you can get your DPS up to, right? Right now I'm at, what, E192. So it's going to take a little bit of... oh, there we go. Now it's jumping up. It's going to take a little bit to kill it, but it's effectively going to get there. So it's going to take some debuffs and some shenanigans, and it's going to die. But it's not like it has... It's not like it has armor or any kind of outrageous abilities when you get to 625. So the struggle really is just to get through is to find a formation that's going to get you from 601 to 625 with all of those fiends coming out at the initial spawn, like right away. Boom. Which ones do you get? Do you get the one with the speed and they're all just rushing your formation? You know, can you clear this wave out, or are they gonna stun your front line and keep you from doing anything? This is the puzzle. This is the actual puzzle for unlocking Reya. Everything else is just power. So at some point in the future, when they raise the soft cap, which is where these champions are running out of upgrades, when they raise that and give us more power with more upgrades, this will be easier for you to do. But for now, it's still kind of a challenge to find a set of champions that are geared out. As you notice, I'm in full epics except for Human. Human's the only one that doesn't have full epics. I'm working on that. And I've got item levels and I have all that other power. So keep in mind, this is an actual push currently. This is an actual push currently, and it's going to be a challenge. So if you can complete it, great. If you complete it without shenanigans, great. Right? There's some shenanigans that can be involved. Keep in mind, you do have, you still do have an actual boss fight here at 600. But again, that shouldn't be the trouble, because on the actual boss levels, you're not going to have those fiends spawning in. So you don't have to worry about the biggest problem. But you are going to have to deal with Lucille. And as I've said in the past... you picked a fine time to cleave me, Lucille. Lucille has a cleave. That big weapon isn't just for show. That will hit past your front line if you let her get to your front line. So I'm using a combination, obviously, of multiple things here. Dinar's a good boy. Gromma's slowing Lucille down. Dinar's pushing her back. So she's not getting up there in my face and cleaving my party. That's, I think, the best kind of way to deal with Lucille, is just don't let her get near you. She hurts. She hurts. All right, so that's it. This party, I went AFK this morning when I was prepping, and it just kind of pushed me all the way to 654, which was shocking. So I did find the power to push through this, and it went real far. I was amazed. But we are done. This is how you unlock Reya. Boom. So let's go collect her live. I got the achievement now. Woohoo! And let's just hop right back in here. Let's hop into this one. Why not? Let's hop into this one. We are going to gear up. We're going to gear her up live on stream. Speed? Question mark? Yeah. I don't know if that is speed, but we will put that on. Sure. Sometimes I name these and I'm like, did I give them the right name? Yeah, that's a speed question mark formation. All right. So, apparently, this is what happens when I don't turn my Modron core on, folks. I forget that come on, there, now. Now the nice thing is now I don't have to pick them up, but I do have to click all the little pink boxes real quick. Okay, so Reya, as an Evergreen champion, gets her gear from regular gold and silver chests, primarily. I don't know what that note is, Jay. I do have, if you're pointing out that I do have a Reya unlock formation. That was it. That was Reya Reborn. We just saw it. This is just a speed formation for pushing through Avernus. So, Reya gets her gear from regular silver and gold chests. That's why I saved up a bunch. A bunch? Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. I'll go back and look at that. I saved up a bunch because along with getting gear out of silver and gold chests, you also get shinies out of silver and gold chests. Shinies have a 1 in 1,000 drop chance with no bad luck protection, so it's just hit or miss. But I do have enough, and you need, like, with bad pity timers, you're going to need 60 gold chests to get full epic. So we've got enough to fully epic out Reya here, and we're going to do that. Of course, Electrum chests drop gear for every champion, so that is a way that you can gear out your Evergreens. I'm not going to open these for Reya, though, because I have so many of these. I'm not going to need these, so I'm going to hold on to these for event champions, and we'll go from there. So let's just drop some chests. We'll get Reya some basic gear here. This looks like we got a blue, a bunch of greens, and some whites. Apparently, that wasn't enough. Reya's slot 6, folks. Slot 6. So here we go. With the wings. That wasn't enough to get me... Oh, she doesn't. It's not an event champion. She doesn't have that achievement. All right, so I do have a... If you know me, you know I hate holes in my collection. But don't worry about that. We are going to be opening up so many silver chests. These will fill in. So yeah, just opening up the silver chest is going to get you everything up from white up until blue, potentially. The golds are going to guarantee you the blues and get you the purples. So we're going to gear her up fully. Let's pull... There we go. There we go. Let's just throw her in back here so that she's out on the field. And get her up to her specialization choice, and we'll come back to that. All right, so there's Reya. Looking pretty awesome. Looking pretty awesome as a Celestial now. So she is a lawful good paladin. Imagine that, folks. She's holding the sword of an angel. So human Celestial, because she was human, she's transformed now into Celestial. She gets both tags. Paladin, clearly. Full support. So Reya's not your DPS, technically. So full support. Sword of Zariel is a base attack. Reya leaps out and slashes at a random enemy, cleaving nearby enemies as well. So you're going to get a bit of a little mini AoE. We've seen this in Minsk before, so if you're familiar with Minsk and Boo, you should get that. It should make sense. Feats. Oh, I got to get up to 195. Fine. I should probably make a note of that, though. You've got to get to certain levels. Obviously, 195 will unlock your first feat slot, and we'll get the next one after we get there. Searing Radiance is the base ability. Reya imbues adjacent champions with their Searing Radiance, causing their attacks to deal more damage. This effect is doubled against fiends. So I do have her It's almost like I knew where this was going. I do have her next to Benwyn, who is my DPS, so that is working. And we are in Avernus. So Avernus has lots of fiends. So she is definitely going to help you out in Avernus. She qualifies for a lot of patrons. Mert, Vajra, Estrad, and Zariel. Currently all of them, right? So if you're doing any patron variants, she's potentially going to be an option because she doesn't like fiends. It depends on how well you have her geared out, how she's going to compare to those others in that slot. But if she is available, she's solid for Avernus. Echoes of Zariel. This is a neat interactive one. Or I should say interesting one. Somewhat interactive, we'll get to that. The gaze of Zariel turns from Reya and sweeps across the formation, looking at a random number of unique champions before returning to Reya. Once it returns to Reya, it increases the effect of Searing Radiance by 100% for each champion it looked at, including Reya, stacking multiplicatively. That's this light, if you could see it right now, shining down on Sentry in the back. This is a neat little effect. But this is Zariel. This is the Echoes of Zariel. This is Zariel's gaze looking down upon the party. And lighting things up. It's like a little spotlight, right? And then it returns to Reya, and it does that buff. Really neat feature. This is manipulative. That's why I said interactive. There is a way to kind of focus who it's looking on, and that's part of the specialization choice. We'll get there. Celestial Champion. All lawful good aligned champions' damage is increased by a certain amount. So this is the thing that where you're like, well, ideally you would want to use her with lawful good champions. That isn't necessarily. I mean, I've got Benwyn in here. It's almost like I knew this was coming. But that's not necessarily a requirement, depending on how much of a buff. It is going to get you more of a buff, right? We're still just kind of starting off. It is going to get you more of a buff. This will go up. But building around things probably comes down more to looking at this. So this is how you affect the Echoes of Zariel, that kind of gaze. You can go either Champions of Good or Champions of Law, and this focuses the gaze, right? So Echoes of Zariel is guaranteed to look at all good aligned champions in the formation before returning to Reya, or all lawful aligned champions. So this is a way to, if you build your party around either good or lawful good if you can and it works for you, but good or lawful, then you focus... and you can effectively set a number of how many buffs and multiplications you're going to get. So you can kind of determine this, right? I'm just going to pick good. I'm not going to go try to figure out the math, but ultimately you would try to build around that if you were really trying to kind of maximize that out. Wait, did I get the other feat? 910 is the other one. All right, 910 for the last one. Got my notes for my guide. All right, so feat-wise... Oh, wait. Did we finish upgrades? I got to the spec choice. I'm all like, let's move to the feats. Ultimate's Avatar Zariel. I'm saving that for the last. Yeah, okay, so I was right. That's why I was like, I swear. It's a brand new champion, folks. It's been out 3 days, so I'm like, I think we ran out of abilities there. Yeah. She gets, as a support, she gets the usual support type feats, which are the all champs damage. She gets the 10 and 25. That one's for gems. She gets some that affect specifically her abilities, Searing Radiance, Echoes of Zariel, and then down here, higher Searing Radiance, higher Echoes of Zariel. And this effect, so this is neat. Eltergard's Paladin increases the pre-stack bonus of Echoes of Zariel. So there's multiple ways to buff up the Echoes of Zariel. Again, that's the gaze. That's the spotlight we're seeing. So yeah, you get to modify that in different ways. I'm just going to throw these on. Oh, I only have the one. Okay. Got to keep going. All right. Let's put a gazer on there. And level that up more. So, this. I've been waiting to see this. Avatar of Zariel. I've not looked. I've not seen screenshots. I purposely wanted to see it for the first time. Once I unlocked her, Reya launches to the sky. She lands by slamming the Sword of Zariel into the ground with a shockwave, summoning Zariel and her friend Lulu. While Reya communes with Zariel, Lulu zips about the board, putting all enemies to sleep for 10 seconds. While the enemies are asleep and Reya remains in her pose, the champions deal massive damage against them. When the 10 seconds is complete, Reya removes the sword and swings it in a massive circle. Alright, let's remove. Jeez. This little thing down here, right in the front of this, is hilarious. Alright. Obviously, I'm not super high level here, so this is just gonna be for show. Nice. And look at Lulu flying around. She kind of went off the screen there. I think because there weren't any enemies. And then back. All right. Yeah, that's neat. I like it. I like it. All right. Let's go back to moving forward. So boom. We do need to get to 910 to unlock that one. That's just going to happen on its way. As you can see, we're getting upgrades along the way for everything. We need to fully get some items out here. Zariel's watching Briv. I like how it names things off, and then 4 stacks will be applied. So you know when it comes back, you know it's going to get a certain number. Current stacks are 9. That's nice. So yeah, everything seems to be working correctly. So let's pop the rest of these chests. And get some gear. There's a lot of chests to open here, folks. There's a lot of chests here to open. But this is kind of how you do it. And the nice thing about this is you can buy silver chests if you want to open lots of silver chests just to get her all the way to blue first. I mean, those are the cheapest chests to buy if you don't have a lot of gold sitting around and banked up for this. But usually when you know you're coming up to unlock an evergreen, saving up a good amount... Yeah, see, there we go. I'm full blues. And that's usually somewhat viable to start using a champion in a formation as full blues. Obviously, unlocking Reya this far in, you're going to need it full epics. But usually when you know you're coming up on unlocking an evergreen, you want to start saving up gold chests so that you have 60, just in case your luck gets bad. Usually you're in somewhere in the 30s. 30s, maybe 40s to get full epic. But then having the full 60s is going to get you duplicates and item levels, and that's kind of going to be the big deal here, right? Let's open up a few more silvers to see if I can fill that one gap. Just because I've got obsessive collection disorder. Did I do it? Nope. All right, that's fine. All right, so we'll go into the golds. I did buy a some kind of wild offer that came with 9 chests. This is going to have a guaranteed shiny. Again, I sat holding this because I wanted to get shinies on Reya. So, kind of planning out how you're going to do something when a new champion comes out is helpful, or at least when you know you're going to be unlocking that champion. Ooh, hey, there's the Searing Radiance. Epic. I am Reya Mantlemorn, Avatar of Zariel. You'll probably want to back down. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to deal with an avatar of an angel. All right, there we go. So the small feathers is where the shiny ended up. That is alt cooldown. I don't hate it. So the thing about getting this into shiny means like slot 6s are one of the few items that are actually going to cap out in terms of item levels. Because your ultimates can only get reduced by a max of 75% of their initial starting time. So for example, when you first unlock Bruenor, and you don't have any gear on him, his ultimate has a 60-second cooldown. When you get his slot 6 capped, and his ultimate cooldown is maxed out, it maxes out at 75% reduction, his ultimate then fires off every 15 seconds. Right, so having a slight shiny here, I don't hate it, because that means with all of these chests I'm going to open, this is eventually going to cap out. As you can see, here's Bruenor, capped out in the 250s, right? But his other items, 1700, 1600, right? Like, you want to ultimately distribute all of those item levels somewhere else. So, getting a shiny here early, especially on an evergreen, pretty nice. Pretty nice. All right. Here we go. Let's just rush through these. Really, all I want to look for, I should have done this as bulk, is the epics. I kind of want to see how quick I can epic it out. How many are we going to get? Ooh, hey, there's the Sword of Zariel. That's nice art. Zariel trusted me with this ancient blade. I pray I do her justice. All right. So we have 2 items now. We have 2 epics out of 9 chests. That's some pretty good RNG, folks, because you're only guaranteed 1 out of 10. So we're definitely ahead of the curve. Let's see just how many it takes. So I started off with 61 gold chests. Again, I had full blues just off the silvers that I opened. Oh, there was one. Dang it, I didn't even see what one it was. So that was 3. That was 3 epics. We are also looking for any feats. Ooh, Lulu the Mammoth. I try not to call for her while in cramped corners. We learned that lesson the hard way. Nice. Okay, I gotta go look at... Which one did I miss? Which one did I miss, folks? We're doing it live. Oh, this. The Broken Hell Rider sign. I put it on the wall in Troll Skull, a reminder of where I've been. Nice. Okay, so we only need the Hell Rider badge, or whatever badge it's going to be, and the feather. Oh, this is going to be like the Feather of Zariel or something? Probably. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. So we only need 2 more. There it is. Yep, Zariel's Golden Feather. A gift from my friend. Alright, one epic to go. And I started with 61, so I've opened 20 chests, folks. That's some crazy luck. Wild and amazing luck. But obviously it's going to take me a bit longer to get to the last one. This one will run the pity timer out, right? You can't have that kind of luck and then not get the last one on the pity timer. Yeah, there we go. So it ran all the way through to the end. There it is. Retired badge of the Hell Rider. There's more than one city with the champions. I can defend them all. I mean, that's still a little overreaching. All right, so I started off with 61 chests, down to 33. So I got full epic and 28 chests. Don't expect that. Don't expect that at all. That's I think the one major thing that went right today for this. So yeah, we'll just open the rest of this in bulk. Again, really what I'm looking for here are feats. Hey, there's one. So there's the Searing Radiance feat. Let's see if we get... this is a patron chest. This is going to help with my patron chores this week, but she does qualify for all patrons. That's why I held on to it until we got here, and then we'll bulk open the rest of those in a moment. Let's go look at what this looks like now. Hey, and I got the duplicate. So yeah, so there's all of Reya's items. I always like the visual progression. The white and the green always look the same, but then you get the little visual progressions off the rest of the items. They're looking pretty good. Lulu the Holophant, Lulu the Mammoth. I'm a little scared to see Lulu the Mammoth show up at some point. Lulu the Holophant is problematic enough. All right, so if we wanted to go through and look, hold on, let me find this again. She likes lawful and good. So that means if we just want like specifically, if we look at this again. Celestial champions, all lawful good aligned champions damage is increased by 1586. So if you're looking for this specific DPS, right? Because really all you want is a primary DPS that is lawful good. You are looking at, well, Benwyn and Dritz currently in the game. So if you're building specifically Reya, and trying to just boost your DPS, your current primary DPS, with this. Again, this is the smaller of the buffs, but it's still a solid buff. Then currently in the game, and this will change in the future, your DPS options are going to be Benwyn and Dritz. Is there anything else? Yeah. None of the other options really are something I would say are hidden DPS. Because sometimes you get somebody like Hitch, who is a support champion, but does a lot of DPS. I don't see that out of the current list that we have available. So that's that part. But then when you get to like champion some good, keep in mind like you can either choose lawful or you can choose good for your formation when you're doing that. And keep in mind, lawful means lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, and good means lawful good, neutral good, and chaotic good. So you're going to have a lot more options when you're looking at those types of alignments, like dozens and dozens. So you can build out parties that way. Are you going to be able to build like a full in the current meta party? You never know. You've got Ashara and Krull in there when you're looking at lawful. You've got Grama. You've got you've got a lot. You've got a decent number of current like meta options in the lawful category. If you want to look just at good, you've got a lot of options. You got Brunor, the greatest dwarven king. He's solid. You got Dinar, Briv. Who else like stands out here? Freely, Tyrell. Zorbu. So yeah, you can go one way or the other, kind of in the somewhat meta that we have currently, and find a lot of options to either go for lawful or good with that specialization. So somewhat fitting. And obviously, like we said, this is the original thing. What was it? It was 10 to 13 to unlock her. And if we come over and we look at patrons, look at that. Strength 10, Charisma 13 for Zariel. It's almost like they planned that out. So when you're doing that run to unlock Reya, what you're also doing is a bit of a Zariel patron run, because those kinds of requirements are going to be required for Zariel. And you kind of can't talk about Reya without talking about Zariel. They're linked now, right? So you're probably going to run Reya in your Zariel formations, and you just built a form. You just saw one of the formations there for doing that. So keep that in mind. And Zariel has a lot of perks that go with like damage of good champions and whatnot. Imagine that. So yep, that's pretty much the bulk of Reya. Reya is, again, evergreens are usually pretty straightforward to unlock and to use. Again, she's super straightforward in the sense that what she really wants to be is adjacent, right? That's it. She's straightforward, which a paladin should be. Paladins should be very straightforward and easy to use. The thing that you really kind of fiddle with is the Echoes of Zariel, with getting that gaze out there. But otherwise, you just drop her in and get that adjacency. Adjacency is something that you fight over a lot with support champions. So you're going to want to see who's the best option for you, and that's always going to depend kind of on a combination of gear and situation. But yeah, that's it. Can I get up? No, we're still not to 900 yet. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short break. We're going to stop a little early because this wasn't, we're not spending a ton of time. There isn't a whole lot to talk about with straightforward. We're going to go into Q&As. We do have a lot of questions, so if you've been asking questions, they're going to get answered here momentarily. We can go into anything you want to talk about. Reya, that's the stuff I'm going to dig through and sift through first, and then we will go into just general Q&A. There's a lot of stuff that changed in the game this week. Not just adding Reya. So if you've got questions, now's the time to fire them away. So we'll be right back after this enjoyable music break.
I walk alone across these broken worlds, reflecting back as my life unfolds. I knew my duty, I had my role. light into his hair. Oh, if it's all I'll ever know, no heart, no choice, no road. All the day or morning, my world came crashing down. In chaos I was bound. You came without a warning, where my kingdom drowned. Skies caught fire, was the end of the war. All hope was lost, there was no more. My purpose twisted, my mind is not my own. A hunger grows inside like I'm never alone. On the day of morning, my world came crashing down. All around was bound. Came without a warning, where my kingdom drowned. Voices in my head, hunger in my brain, ripping as I tread, corruption is nothing. All day or morning, oh, my world came crashing down. In chaos I was bound. Came without a warning, where my kingdom drowned.
And we're back. That was Warden's Lament from Bardic Inspiration, the show, not the album. The album did drop this week. You can listen to it in-game, or you can buy it on Steam. Go buy it on Steam, folks. You get MP3 and FLAC files. You can use those anywhere you want to listen to it anywhere. You don't have to play the game on Steam to get it. You can just buy it on Steam and then play it on your computer or your phone or your laptop or whatever. Laptop's a computer. It's Saturday morning, folks. I'm going to repeat myself. All right. Digging into the Q&A. Jay was nice enough to pull all the questions you've been asking, or at least if it looked like they were for me. And if you want to make sure that Jay knows it's for me, put question, : in front of it, as you can see down there. All right. How much favor do you think to get Reya? I mean, Moro Racing Dose. Like I said, I think you just want to make sure you're soft capped. You have enough to soft cap before you get to 600, and that shouldn't be a problem. I think you're going to want to make sure you have all the blessings, like at the very least. So you're going to want, you're going to want at least enough so that when you spin to E26, you still have a bunch left over, and it didn't pop up the warning, right? To get the last thing, because you're going to want every ounce of power you can get from everywhere you can get it. Frankly, as a player coming up on this for the first time, who wasn't sitting at the end game with tons of power, yeah, you're going to want as much as you can get. But yeah, you're going to want all the blessings. So getting close to E30, probably a good idea. Trying to find ones that were specifically about Reya. We got a lot of general questions. Which specializations, William Smith, I think Jay and I are assuming this means which specializations in the Reya Reborn. So let's go take a look at that. Actually, the nice thing is I can take a look at that over here by selecting it here and then clicking on specializations. Boom! Did you know this was a thing, folks? So for that run, these are the specs that I had. This is like College of Valor. This was Mom Arm, or aka Protection. I used Baloth's middle, the middle spec. Unless I get super finagly. Again, one of the things I'll go back is I'll just try to pick a generic spec that I know is going to give me some consistent damage where I don't have to mess with a lot of things first, and then going back and changing specs is one of the things I do when I hit a wall to try to see if I can push further. So if I hadn't been able to finish Reya Reborn, I would have then gone into the Gen spec and tried to do the whole kill off your whole party thing to get the Gen bonuses, right? Improved coat work. This is with Farida. This is the left spec, which lets you extend Hellish Rebuke to 2 spaces because there's 3 tanks. So I wanted Hellish Rebuke, which is a much bigger damage bonus than her base attacks. I wanted that on all the tanks, just in case. This is Dark Blessing. This is Wild Shape. This is Everyone Cool Out. Arctic, and this is the right spec, like the right side spec. Can't remember the name off the top of my head. So there you go. Let's go back to the speed thing. I love doing that little feature that you can just look at the specs and change them for your next thing. But yeah. Was that Blessing or Luck on Frida? Blessing or Luck on Makos, you mean? Dark Blessing. Dark Blessing. Farida's is... Oh, dang, they gave her the same thing. Tieflings. CNE, don't confuse the Tieflings. It was Dark One's Luck. Man, I was thinking... Yeah, they got Makos and Farida real close with these names, and I only just now realized it. Wow. Yeah, Dark One's Luck. So 2 slots. 2 slots. Don't do that, CNE. Don't do that. Is Reya an event champ? How do you unlock her? Nope. Scanner Brightly. She's an evergreen champion. And we just went through that. That's what this whole stream was. She is in Avernus. She's down here as a variant off of Idleglen called Reya Reborn. Right there. Right there. Let's see. Any other questions about Reya or Reya Reborn? Did you unlock Reya in this stream or a different one? No, I just unlocked her live on this stream. Live in a certain sense. I kind of AFK'd through the adventure this morning. I thought I could just leave it AFK, folks, and that I would end up having to manually kill some stuff, and nope. And I knew we wouldn't have enough time for me to run through all 625 levels live. Where else would be a good shiny location on Reya? I mean, wherever you can get them, right? I mean, damage all champions doesn't suck. You know. So I would say probably, this one probably isn't, the Celestial Champion. I mean, you look at the abilities and you see, right? So Searing Radiance at max with epic items is an EO9 bonus. Echoes of Zariel. Let's look at that back here to see what we're looking at. That's EO6. So you're probably wanting Searing Radiance to get the 50% boost on that. The lowest one would be Celestial Champion, right? Like that's the least, that's the smallest buff. So when you're trying to figure out like where would you like shiny to land, where is it good? Obviously you want to buff the biggest buff a champion provides. Let's see. Any more? Does Ashara have a Celestial bond in one of her specs? I don't believe so off the top of my head, but Reya counts as human. I think she's the first Celestial we have, so you would go human if you were trying to include when trying to count Zariel. But I mean, we can go take a look. Hold on. Oh, look, it doesn't matter because Ashar is in that slot. Sorry. I just wanted to point that out because even while I was like, no, yeah, but it's human. But oh, no, wait, she's in that slot, so it doesn't matter. That was me live on stream realizing there's 78 champions in the game now, folks, and I don't always remember where they all are. All right. If the buffs are multiplicative, does it matter if 50% buff goes to the largest versus the smallest? In a certain sense, since they're all multipliers. But yes, it does. Because, again, you're looking at this being the largest number. We want to give it the largest potential buff. You're going to get a lot more of a bonus multiplying 50% times this than you are times this. Especially when you factor in feats, which we need to do. Are we there yet? No. We're not. I don't have enough gold yet. Go faster, team. But yeah, I mean, you want to buff the largest bonus, right? That's the kind of the whole point. That's just kind of how math. 50% times 2 versus 50% times 10 is going to give you different numbers. Yeah, we want Echo. No, we want Searing Radiance. Yeah, 40%. Right. So giving you the largest numbers is going to give you the larger bonuses. All right, let's go back. I will start over from the beginning. We're going to do all the things. I think that was all the stuff that was specific to this. To Reya and Reya Unborn. So we got an hour, folks. We got an hour to hang out and ask questions. Fire away. Babylon Ranger, is the 8 gems per 100 levels in an auto reset in the non-active party a feature or no? But I have no idea. Submit a ticket. Sounds like a bug because you get a random number of gems per boss. So, and it varies, and there's a lot of bosses in 100 levels. So that sounds like a bug. Go submit a ticket and find out. But that does sound like a bug. Simply was more powerful, an undead named Powerful Lich who rules an entire faction of wizards, or one red shirt Aranyas. I don't know. Subjective. Lots of questions about Dragonlance and Kryn. The general Idle Champions, like Codename Entertainment response to anything around that is, this is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. So unlikely to see something named from any other place show up here. Are there champions in the game that are from other places than the Forgotten Realms? Yes, but that is because, generally speaking, they are CNE original champions in most cases that, as part of their lore and backstory, are in the Forgotten Realms but came from that other place. The exception being Melf, right? But Melf, if you want to say canonically, because when Luke Gygax plays them on stream, Melf is playing oftentimes in the Forgotten Realms, right? So, there are specifically named characters that, if a content creator or if it's somebody major like a Melf who is just a major known name in the Forgotten Realms and they want to put in this character, and the person who owns that, quote unquote, owns that character is down with it, the creator of it is down with that, then they'll do it. This is also how we got, if you want to talk about a group affiliation, the Heroes of Erois, because this was a live stream that had neat characters, and they were like, well, we can hand wave. Erois is where they're from. They're not from the Forgotten Realms. They had to adjust them to bring them into the game. But again, that's That's something that gets the creators were okay with it. B, it is an active 5e game, so it is not something from the past. It is current, present in the current 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And finally, Wizards of the Coast said, yeah, you can do that, because they have to approve all that, right? So until something happens that until you see them announce that, hey, we're getting someone from a different place, I wouldn't expect things from a different place. So yes, Spurred is an exception too. So again, they have exceptions, but again, it has to be a combination of, is it current 5th edition? Is it based off current 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons? Does the creator player of that character, are they okay? Do they want to work with CNE and have their character in the game? And does Wizards of the Coast approve? Right. So there's 3 qualifiers there, and the 5th edition one is big for a lot of the things that people want in the game. Like I keep saying, I would love more of I would love to see characters from the Cleric Quintet in the game. Unfortunately, I don't know if there are any. And some of the more current Dritz novels, because I want dwarves. I want all the dwarves. So the Boulder Shoulder brothers and the Tanabrichus sisters. I don't know if any of those have been brought to current 5e. Just because they're in current books doesn't necessarily make them 5e. So you've got to, that's one consideration you have to bring in. And then you have the other 2 are the harder ones. Like, does the creator want to do it? And does Wizards of the Coast say okay? Right, those are the bigger hurdles in some cases. Who's the moose in my party? That's Tyrell, Barney. Tyrell has a Icewind Dale skin that turns him into a moose. He's not in my party at the moment, but he was. I know what that question was. If all your tanks are in the front line and they all get stunned, why do they die in one hit? Oh, that's okay. This was one from Reya Reborn. I mean, mine weren't dying in one hit. So are you talking about the enemies dying in one hit? Honky Tonk Hero? I mean, if they're stunned and they're not, if the stun is turning off their ability to fire ultimates, but not turning off their, and it's negating their damage, like the 0, taking the tank itself to 0 damage, the tanks are still providing their formation abilities, so my DPS can still kill them. Yeah. If you were asking something else, you can clarify in chat and we'll come back to it. How well does Human buff non-human DPS? I mean, fine. Like, here's the thing. You have a couple different things going on here, right? Like, hello, fellow humans increases the effect of teamwork abilities based off the number of other human champions in the formation. It's not that he only buffs human champions. He buffs anyone. Right? So if we read through, front 2 columns, enemies have a 25%. This is the speed thing. Increase the damage of champions against boss enemies. Notice there's nothing here that says humans. Increase the damage of champions in the 2 columns in front of human. Like, he's not... They are not buffing humans only. They can increase a buff based off the number of humans in your formation. That doesn't have to mean you have a human DPS. So, yeah. Make sure you're reading your formation abilities, folks. Just because he says hello, fellow humans, it's not that he's buffing humans. He's buffing based on the number of other humans, right? And again, if we look at the other effects down here, none of these say anything about humans. So, oh, my tanks would get one shot if they were all stunned. Looks like formation abilities were going away too. I had an epic heroism potion on. So they should still be getting all their health upgrades. What they would have been losing then was health share if they were losing that. Which shouldn't be necessarily enough to kill them. And I was killing things pretty quickly still. Because again, I was relying on... When I built that formation, I was trying to build out all of the damage from the back and maximize it as much as possible. So again, I feel like you're running out of damage and not killing things quickly enough. Because you potentially... This is why I had to swap some of my frontline tanks around in that formation specifically. Was to get enough damage so that I could effectively just power through even when my tanks shut off for a second. Yeah. So you're losing A, health potions, B, fiddle with your damage in the back. You can't rely on ramping damage from your tanks to get you through that. Do the skins change attributes? No. Not at all. Feats do that. Sometimes there's skin packs that come with feats, but no. That's what feats are for. I don't have most of those nice things, and I'm hitting wall in the 440s despite hitting level cap. I could work on my formation, but another almost 200 level seems unlikely. Yeah, Spirit Claw, you're not going to get 200 levels. Again, a fully epicked out Modest Core will get you 100 levels. I feel like it's safe to say that Reya is not a... I had always said, so I just did a new player reference. Well, I just did. It's been a few months now, but I did a new player reference, kind of a guided tour of the early game, and I had made Evergreen Champions the milestones. And I was like, oh, when they add Reya, I'll add her as a milestone. But no. No, Reya's not an early game milestone. Reya's a mid to late game milestone as the game sits right now. Probably closer to late game, because you're going to need all the blessings, like all the global blessings. You're going to need, like I said, I needed probably all the perks from Vajra, Mert, and Strahd. And I had a fully epic Modron core. So I could lose a little of that since I got to 650. I could lose a very small amount of that. But I also had fully epic champions. So yeah, it's kind of a late game, mid to late game goal right now. And if that's not where you're at, if you're not transitioning into the late game, then Reya is probably not something you're going to be able to unlock. And that's the way basically all of the evergreens were when they were released. It was a target for mid game players to work towards. Super late game players could unlock it right away. Like I remember when Azaka first came out, that was the big one. Dritz, I think we probably got pretty quickly. But when Azaka came out, that was something I didn't get for months. I worked for months and months and months while everybody else had Azaka, and I watched everybody's gold just go through the roof, like their favor go through the roof. And I'm like, great. I'm going to be so far behind. Don't worry about any of that, honestly. But yeah, it's going to be... Reya right now is going to be a long-term goal for you to focus on, not something that you're going to get right away. Because you are going to need also a roster of champs and have them geared out. So, yeah. Do you know if when the Modron Core thing will be coming out of beta? I think because they just still name it. I don't understand. Where is it showing up as beta, folks? Where is the beta tag that you're talking about, Iron Maggers? Are you on like a are you on Steam? Are you what platform are you on? That's kind of what I'm going to need. Because I feel like it's just a tag that maybe they didn't Maybe they didn't remove. I think it might still show up if you haven't opted in yet. Well, but that's the thing is, Jay, I don't think we have to figure out where that's showing up, because I think maybe the devs haven't gone back in and removed that tag yet from wherever you're talking about. So if you can post in chat or submit that as a support ticket in game, and tell them where you get it. Coffeen is saying when you click to unlock split the party, you get a disclaimer pop up. Okay. Someone's saying on Android. All right. So before, when you don't qualify, when you first try to do split the party at the very beginning. Okay. Yeah, I would say submit a ticket and let them know that it's still saying that, because I don't know that at this point it's still in beta, but I think they may have not gone in and unhooked that message, because I don't see it. No one that's done it sees it. And when it's kind of out of sight like that, it's out of mind and you forget it's there. So yeah. What's the best undead zone for chores? Oh, I mean, I don't know what the best is. I do my patron undead stuff in Tomb of the Nine Gods, in Tomb of Annihilation. I've just always used that one. I do everything else in Mad Wizard, and I do undead. Specifically, when undead is left, then I go to Tomb of the Nine Gods. Do you need to unlock feats on a champion before they start showing up in gold chests? No, you just need to unlock the champion. You just need to unlock the champion. I got a Mage Hand Familiar. How do I use it? So, I mean, depending on what platform you're on. If you're on PC, if you hold down F, all of these little white highlighted boxed areas are places you can place a familiar, and you can hover over each of them to find out what each of those boxes does. So over here, it levels up click damage. This will buy and level up a champion. This fires a random ultimate slot. Otherwise, you can put it on a specific ultimate slot. And when you put them on the field, they do a variety of things. The base one is click enemies 5 times a second. 3 or more of them, but well, you only have the Mage Hand, that's it. But normally when you start off, you put the Mage Hand like right out here. And you let it click things. Just through the first, like, I don't know, 5 or so levels. And then usually, like when I'm running a new account, then I usually just switch it from there over to here. And then I let it roam ultimates. That's kind of what one familiar... I mean, the familiars are basically a quality of life feature. They're going to automate stuff, right? So as you get more of them, you'll do other things. Like now I've got a bunch, so I put one on click damage to get me through as far as I can keep clicking, and then I'll put a bunch others to like level people up, right? And they automate all of these functions that normally I have to do myself, right? So there. So this is like full automation, hands off for getting through early levels with familiar. Again, that's holding down the F key if you're on PC. If you're not on PC, you've got to do other things. But I am, so there we go. Hey, Feats. All right. What's the other one I wanted? Probably the other 40% for echoes. All right. Weird little question. Where can you see the Modron core names and or what's the new one called? The Hasty Tadpole, I don't think they're in the game. Like for hovering and stuff. Like I can't necessarily hover over and get a name. That would be a neat tooltip thing. But basically, as they're labeled in here, 1, 2, 3, you kind of just need to look at the graphics. So this number 1 is the Modest Core. This is the free one you get when you complete the very first split the party. I know it visually just because it's the most straightforward looking one. 2 with it looks like it's armored. I don't know why they chose to do this, or squinting. This is the strong core. I feel like this visual would have been better for it, like a defensive core, but this is the strong core is what is the name. So modest, strong. And then this third one with the feathery winged eyebrows is what some people are calling them, eyebrows, is the fast core, and that's the newest one. So modest, strong, fast. I don't think it says anything in here. I think when you go to buy strong, it's labeled strong, but I don't know that there's... My eyes are going all over the place. I don't see a name anywhere. Yeah. So it's just kind of familiarity will kind of get you into that. Someone's saying that fast core should be dilated pupils. Well, again, the eyebrows, as people are calling them, if you look at it closely, they're feathered wings, like it's got wings and it's going fast, I guess, is where they were going. I don't know. Well, you would need to ask the artist what their art direction was in that. Why do my silver and gold chests only give equipment to basic champions? Sakritzi, because that's what silver and gold chests do. Like basic silver and gold chests. Like these are basic silver, and the others that I just used earlier were basic gold. That's what they do. It says non-event champions in the tooltip. So it's only going to give you gear for core and evergreen champions. That's it. Electrum are going to give you for any champion, like it says, for a random unlocked champion in the tooltip. And then everything else is named and specific for people or groups, and when you hover over them, it'll say who it's for. But the regular chests are only non-event. That's non-event stuff. That's because they want you have to get event champion gear and time gate champion gear out of time gates or events or Electrum chests or patron chests. These are the other ways you gear up those champions, right? Are you thinking about talking about Orkira next Saturday or on your Wednesday stream? I talked about Orkira a little bit yesterday on my throwback OG Friday stream. There was no GG2E yesterday, so I streamed on my own channel and we had a bunch of fun. I mean, or if you don't know, Orkira's coming to the game Wednesday. Orkira Ildrex, the Dragonborn. It's our community manager Lauren Urban's character from Heroes of the Plains. She'll be arriving in the game with Greengrass, which is our upcoming event, alongside the return of Ayla and Melf. So it's going to be that's a solid event, folks. Ayla's my pick for best tank in the game currently. I know there's other people would pick others, but my pick for best tank in the game is Ayla. Melf is a fantastic speed champion, as well as a support, but he usually gets used a lot for speed, and is kind of part of the core of speed formations. And then Orkira is coming in as a support with some non-adjacent healing and buffage based on healing over the entire run. So having Orkira in from the beginning, and then there's a way to do it with there's one of her specs allows you to kind of count the non-effective heals and stuff. So really damagey stuff. Orkira's going to come in with the healing and then buff based off heals. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the ultimate with the Phoenix. So yeah, we'll learn more about Orkira when she drops. The Champion Spotlight is out though. It looks pretty good. We'll see. I'm hearing inside information from Jay. Her ult does look pretty epic. Yeah, I bet. I currently got all champs, and this week using all of my 50 time gate pieces on 3 year 1 champs to get their variant achievement. Think this is a good idea? If they're year 1 champs that you're actually using in your formation and you need the gear for, sure. But if you're just going to get a 1% achievement, the whole point, I think their primary focus in time gates should be gearing up champions you're using, or that you need for variants, right? And I think achievements are like at some point you will get to the point, getting everybody to at least all blues is, I think, is kind of the first goal, and then trying to epic them out as your second goal. since you have them all already. And then I feel like along the way to that, you're going to pick up the achievements naturally. So focus on getting gear on the ones, like getting the ones that you're using all the time to epic is probably a good first focus. But getting everything to just blues is like a good milestone because it's pretty straightforward. And you should only need 2 runs per time gate, or 2 time gates per champion for that at worst, because that'll get you 6 gold chests, and that should get you guaranteed blues in every slot unless you have really weird upgrades. But yeah, by the time you go to get them all epiced out, like, you're going to get those achievements on their own. So I wouldn't focus on the achievement per se, because that's going to come naturally. Did the priority for getting the strong core drop even lower with the new one now handed out to everyone? Well, it's not handed out. You've got to finish Split the Party 2. So I guess it depends. Can you do Split the Party 2? Which arguably I thought was easier than Split the Party 1 because the Modron core counted. So it depends. It depends on how many gems you have. Like, can you just throw 500,000 gems at something? Some people can. But yeah, I mean, if it's a struggle, then you're probably not the highest priority, right? I think the Modest core is the best core for the current meta, but the meta is always changing, so who knows? But I think currently the Modest core is the best core at 15. The Speed core is going to be super useful for your gem farming parties. But having a third core, like I have all 3 in right now. I need to have this one in getting levels over here. But, you know, we're streaming, so I had the power one in. But normally I've got this one over here getting levels. And then this one's automating. So I don't know. That's kind of one of those questions that you're at the point, when you get to that point, you kind of have to start making informed decisions for yourself. How often do you have to reset due to lag? Unless I'm using lots of speed potions in multiple consecutive runs, I don't. I sometimes have to reset a few times an hour just due to lag on Armor Games. Is Steam much better? I don't know if that's an Armor Games thing, if that's your browser, if that's your computer specs. There are so many factors there that I can't answer that question. I mean, because of the way this game functions, and especially now with 3 parties, and if you're running 3 parties at once, which I am, and we're not running into any major issues. That's gonna, like, I feel like this one's really dependent on your computer specs. And if you're running it through a browser, like, what browser are you using, right? They all manage things a little bit differently. I always used Chrome when I ran a browser-based account, but I used the CNE Games browser version, and I've never played on Armor Games or Congregate, so I can't really speak to those. Okay, that's not really a question. What is the chat command to see your Modron pipe layouts in your channel? Oh, in my channel, I think it's just Modron core or something like that. Not here, obviously. I'd have to go. Guard your third party to stop. Yeah, probably. I set it up overnight and it doesn't auto reset because I don't have automation on that one yet. Does Veterans of Avernus count patron variants? Yes, it does. Which is why now that there's a new patron there, the buff from that will go up. But we still need this to show a total amount. And I think that would then help. But yeah, it's for every Avernus adventure and variant completed over all campaigns, but that also includes all the patrons. That also includes all the patron variants. So for the Modest core, did we have to wait until level 3 to automate? No, it was a level 1 because that was your freebie first core. So they gave you automation. If you hooked up your pipes right, they gave you automation right away just to get you into it so you could learn. Ishii also cares if Reya is human. Sure. Sure. Thanks for helping me think outside the box, i.e. the Dragon Bait unlock tank spots. Oh, yeah. I did Gargos Betrayal, Mert, 725 levels in tank with Warden. Yeah, best I've done in Mert. Never thought I would have done that before. Yeah, so I'm glad that worked for you, BABLG. You have to keep in mind sometimes that depending on the variant and what you're trying to do in that variant, you don't necessarily always need your tanks in the front row. The specific use case I usually cite for this is unlocking Dragon Bait, fighting Valindra Shadow Mantle in Tomb of Annihilation. Because in that scenario, you're running Fire Breath potions to kill off all the trash mobs, but you're having to fight Valindra head on. Valindra is sitting fixed on the screen. So when you have a fixed boss and you're clearing trash mobs with Fire Breath potions, you no longer need tanks in your front row. You still need tanks because the boss is still damaging you somehow. Well, in most cases, not all. But you still need tanks for health share to keep your party alive in most cases, especially in Valindra. But they don't have to be in the front row. So I think the most interesting scenario I did that in is I had my tanks. I think when I was doing the version for Strahd, I had my tanks in the back row and my squishies in the front row, like everywhere else, and absolutely wrecked that thing just because I was trying to finagle how to use like Narak with the tanks to buff their health share, which then buffed the survivability of the party, and then yeah. So there's shenanigans you can do. There's ways to, well, it's not shenanigans. It's kind of the whole point of the game. The whole point is formation strategy management, right? So when you reach a hard variant and a hard boss, that boss is in effect a puzzle for you to take all the champions that you've unlocked and their abilities and that formation and figure out the proper layout that's going to maximize your ability to complete that zone. And that doesn't always mean your tanks are in the front row. You have to keep that in mind. In most cases, if you're having tanks, like even here, I don't need tanks in my front row, right? This guy isn't getting to me. So as long as you're not actually tanking, as long as the enemies aren't actually hitting your front line, your tanks can be anywhere. In most cases, finding a wall, like if you're pushing to a wall, like in a favor run, yes, your tanks need to be in the front. But if you're just trying to complete a variant, it may be that they don't need to be. So, yeah. I have some people arguing math and how math works with me. I'm not here for that. If you know how better to do this and you think I'm giving wrong advice, then okay. I'm not going to argue your math. I'm giving you information for you to make your own informed decisions. I'm not telling you the only way to do something. That's not going to happen. So if you think your argument for something is better, then go do your thing. There are lots of different ways to play this game. There's no one true way. I've argued before. People ask me a lot about, should I, like, here's one for you. Should I convert immediately when I finish an event? Or should I grind favor in that event to get the biggest number and have the largest conversion? My statement has always been convert immediately because it doesn't matter. It's a multiplier. It's a multiplier against a multiplier against a multiplier, so it doesn't matter. And other people will argue and burn forums down telling me, no, you should do it the other way. Then go. If you don't want to even consider that, then go do it. If somebody's going to ask me a question of what I think my personal opinion is to do something, I'm going to give you my personal opinion. That doesn't mean you have to follow that like a Bible. This is not a Bible. If you know how to make these informed decisions, then make your informed decision. If somebody's going to ask me my opinion on something, I'm going to give my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be right. And there shouldn't be one true way to... I mean, a lot of the neatest interactions we found in this game that do some of the wildest things, like Azaka farming, for instance, came because people didn't just think there was one true way to do something and went out and tried to figure it out themselves. So please do that. Please. Despite Cradle being DPS support and Talon being just support, my artist formation just broke its wall by dumping Cradle in favor of Talon with Reversal of Fortunes. So much for my only suspected use of Cradle. Oh, that's not really a question, but sure. I don't know. Again, that's formation. That's like just playing with formations and not making assumptions, right? Like Hitch is a DPS. Hitch is a DPS. He says support, but you can use him as a DPS. You can use him as a DPS as a new player for a very long time. I unlocked all the evergreens up through Ikoria using Hitch most of the time as my DPS. I think I went to Farida towards the end for some of that, but especially for Ikoria. But getting through there, I used Hitch a lot. He's a support. So, yeah, this game sometimes you just have to test things out and see if you think something might work. Go try it. Again, there's no hard fast rules. As long as you're making informed decisions, you understand how the champions work. You can do all kinds of wild things with your formations that might otherwise not happen. Again, another example, Tankamus. Artemis can, if you do some weird shenanigans, Artemis can observe temp HP shields and end up having an enormous one and tank in the front line. Is that the most optimal for pushing though? No, probably not, but it's fun to look at, right? So, do Waterdeep free plays count as adventures towards Vajra's requirements? Huh? Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. No, free plays don't count as adventures or variants. That's why it specifically says adventures and variants and doesn't list free plays. You have to do the storyline adventures, which are these top level things. Hold on. Let's go over here and actually look at it. These top level things, like an illicit undertaking, this is a storyline adventure when you first do it. After you've completed it once, it becomes a free play. No longer counts. You already did the adventure. These are variants. You have to do those. So when it says adventures or variants, you have to do those base storyline adventures, and then you have to do their variants. Free plays won't do anything. And this is something you could test in the game. You can just do a bunch of adventures and then look at the number you have to move forward and then do a free play. And did it increment positively? No? Well, guess what? It doesn't work. I've not opened my time gate yet. Does the 72-hour time gate limit start when you actually choose a champion and start the challenge, or when the time gate first becomes available? So there's two. The time gates are available for 72 hours. Up here. Time gate. You've got 72 hours that started counting down Friday at noon. See, we've got 2 days, 1 hour, and 23 minutes. However, when I finally go and select, I've got to do this after this stream. When I finally go and select one of these, that starts a new 72-hour timer for me to actually do the time gate. This is so that people who are gone over a weekend but come back Monday morning can still pick a champion and then have 3 days to work on it. So there's two different timers. I've just finished and got Dragon Bait. Any quick ways how to gear him instead of chests? No, chests are how you gear him. Instead of chests? Chests are how to gear him. Darius, what were you trying to ask me with that question? I don't understand. Dark Cyril, any recommendations on a third champ for slot 2? So you start with Celeste. I like Dinar and Regis. Those are probably my most used. Is Dinar and Regis. I will get to Kevin. I will answer that question here in a moment if we have time. I've got a lot of questions, so we might not have time. What are the area level ranges for mid game and late game? No, that's not a thing, Michael. People try to define it that way, and that's not. It's not about the area level you're pushing to. It's about the content you're attempting. So I think early game is currently is if you use like the new player reference I have, the first milestone Dritz, second milestone Azaka, third milestone Dragonbait, fourth milestone Alcoria. At that point, you're right around there. You should be unlocking Split the Party. Like, you should be able to complete Split the Party, get your Modron Core in your second party, and unlock Mert and potentially Vajra at the same time. At that point, you're transitioning into mid-game. If you're following that guideline. I think when you've unlocked Split the Party, you have your first Modron you're working on, you have your second party, you've got Mert and Vajra unlocked. I think at that point, and your focus is shifting from doing storyline adventures into doing variants and patron variants to up, like, I think that first start of the patron curve is the beginning of mid-game. This is opinions. This is just what I refer to it, because I think you can cruise for like your first 2 to 3 months is how long it's going to take you to get roughly there, unless you're just like super hardcore. I think that takes 2 to 3 months, and I think that's the early game. And then I think after that you're in the mid game, and then I think when you get to the point where you've got Mert and Vajra done or mostly done, and you're really working through Strahd, which is difficult, and now into Zariel. I think Strahd and Zariel are end game. So Mert and Vajra, I think, getting Mert and Vajra in your second party at the start of early game. And then I think Strahd, finishing Strahd and Zariel are current end game. These goalposts will move because they're going to move with soft cap upgrades. They're going to move with additions of new content. So these things are always going to move. So before, the end game was just Strahd, effectively. Now it's finishing Strahd and doing Zariel. In a more general sense, what is the best way to determine the best party for a job with a given formation of available heroes? Is it solely experience and knowing each hero's skill and their synergies? Yeah, Lord Abil. It's basically understanding how to build a formation. That's why my Formation Strategy 101 guide is the first guide I recommend everybody to go read. Learning how to build a formation is the core foundational aspect of this game. And that is what allows you to determine the best party for a job with a given layout and the available heroes. That's what I'm using in my head. After having played for and understanding the champions for so long, but I still have to go in and check each champion sometimes to make sure I'm using them right if I haven't used them in a while. But making educated guesses, informed decisions about where to place, like which champions when they're available I can use for this specific run, is where I start. And then I get to a wall and then I start finagling, and trying to see what's going to work out better. Is Idle Champions better to play on Steam or the CNE website? I don't know. This is a Steam account that I'm playing on right now. I have played extensively on a CNE Games account as well. I didn't run into any issues there. Keep in mind, Steam is a double-edged sword. Steam is going to get patches first, but that's good and bad. Sometimes you're going to get access to new things first, but you're also going to get the associated bugs with it. But then you're also going to get the fixes first. So, hard to say. If you need to unlock most everything to get Reya, what is your goal once you have her? Wait for more content? Well, I've got content to do. If you're playing through initially, we just finished Avernus, but now I've got Patron Zariel. I've done nothing for Patron Zariel yet. I've done her chores, but that doesn't matter. I've got to work on fleshing out my perks for Patron Zariel and buying all the stuff in her shop, which means I have to go do, since there's like 170 plus variants for each patron, I have to go do 170 plus variants now. Time gate for relatively new account. Regis, Sentry, or Korth. Ooh. Sentry's a speed champion. She needs gear. So it's rough picking up out of Time Gate. She's not going to be fantastic, but she still will do her effect occasionally. But Regis is a solid slot too. So pick whatever you need for Split the Party. Plan in advance. Question, why does the Strong Core only have 29 buff notes? I don't know. I'm not the developer. How is Favor calculated? Favor is based off the amount of gold you earn in a run. So you're pushing deep and you're earning gold, which is why it's good to have lots of gold find. And you earn as much gold in the run as possible, and that gets converted into Favor. What the actual formula is probably out there. That's not something I keep in my mind palace. Because the game does that stuff. Does that calculation for me. But it's basically, Favor is based off the gold you earn in a run. Time Gate for a brand new account about 1 to 2 weeks old. Barrowin, Torgar, Cathris. I like Cathris out of that. How much Favor do you need to, at least, to finish that Reya variant? Like I said, you need to soft cap. You need to get all the global blessings, or all the blessings in Avernus. So that's going to take you, E26 plus change, because you're going to need more over that to keep a lot of Favor, so that when you buy it, the warning doesn't go off. Whatever that is. So E30, roughly? I don't know. Favor isn't going to be your issue. Like, if you're worried about Favor, you're worried about the wrong thing. If you're worried about Favor, you don't have enough power. Because if you have enough power, you have enough Favor. What would be my fastest way to get enough power to unlock Reya? Currently, I get to 590 level max with potions. Current power level is 13 core, all blessings, 90% perks. I mean, keep working on... Like, you're going to have to slowly level... You're going to have to level your core. The fastest way to level that core to 15 is to grind gems in Mad Wizard, and then you can work on those perks, max out those perks on your patrons. I wouldn't worry about achievements as power, unless there's some easy ones you can do. But I would grind. I do Mad Lizard to Mad Lizard. C&E Games. We need a Mad Lizard adventure now, just to mess with me and everybody else. Mad Wizard for gems is going to level that core up. Go do that. What's better for blacksmithing contracts? 1 gold chest or 10 silver ones? Depends on your RNG. Right? Because an epic, I mean, if you land an epic, that's huge. So yeah, I don't know. Somebody out there has probably got, I think I don't know if this has been done lately, but I think if you were just focusing on item levels, I can't remember if the silvers was just focusing on blacksmith contract. Somebody's done this math. It wasn't me. So off the top of my head, I don't know. I only buy gold chests. All of these silver chests that I still haven't opened, all of these silver chests are just earned over runs. Over Mad Wizard grinding. I don't buy silver chests. I only buy gold chests. So, I mean, take that for what you will. There are some people that only buy silver chests. So, yeah, somebody's done that math. It's probably in the Discord. Does the game auto-save at regular intervals? Yes. Can I do this and this? I'm probably not going to be able to open these up on stream today. I can't do both of these things at once. Will they ever add cross-save? Probably not. That's been talked about a lot. If you've missed that one, basically the biggest issue there's 2 hurdles. Now that they're on all the platforms, there's 2 hurdles. One is they would have to keep all the platforms at the same patch constantly, which is that's rough. But the other hurdle, and that arguably the biggest hurdle, is getting all of the platforms to agree to that, like to allow you to transfer these goods bought on one platform onto their platform, and they don't get money out of it. Like that's not going to happen. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. The current, I believe, the last time they answered this question, they said their contracts don't allow for that. So, yeah, that's mostly on the platforms, not on the developers. What are the developments and or additions to the game from Spring Extravaganza most excited or interested you this far? I like so many, all of them. It was just a great patch, I thought. I know it had some rough, I mean, it's probably still got some bugs, but I love the jukebox. I like that there's a fast core now. I like that there's a new patron that gives me stuff to work on. There's a new evergreen. I'm excited. I'm always excited about new champions. So getting a new evergreen and getting to have someone that offers something new to formations is great. There's some new familiars. I've still got to buy those. Where is Split the Party 2? The same place Split the Party 1 is. It would show up right here. Like Split the Party 1 is like, hey, unlock something. Split the Party 2, it used to say, hey, unlock an adventure, and now it shows up right there. When comes the fourth group? We just got the third. Who knows? Yeah. Is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. So it scrolls with the mouse wheel. Yeah, it would show up here at the right and say that. But yeah, they're just keeping this here. But we just got the third. I wouldn't expect the fourth anytime soon. I could be wrong. I think I read somewhere that you can't run patron stuff during events. That's wrong. You totally can. If the next event starts next Wednesday, does it block out a whole week? No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. I don't know who told you that, but they were wrong. Heard you answer the same question. Okay, I'm gonna hit this one now, Kevin. We got here. I've heard you answer the same question at least 4 times in 2 days. How do you not go crazy? This is... So I answered yesterday on my stream. Somebody asked me, what's your day job? Because I referenced that in the mornings I have my day job, and then I do this I stream in the afternoons. My day job is community management. This is the kind of stuff I do for a living for different companies. If they hire me, companies hire me. Hi. I'm always looking for new contracts or direct employment. But I'm an independent contractor, so I work for whatever game company needs somebody to do stuff, whether it's streaming or whether it's running Steam discussion groups. Oh, that takes some patience. Running a Reddit, like a subreddit, running forums, running a Discord, managing social medias. Right now I manage a Facebook with a few million subscribers for a company that's got millions of players. You get the same question all the time. You just do. So I think somebody joked about this, like in a community management, comments on Twitter once. They're like, the best interview thing you can do if you're hiring a community manager is put them in a room and have people ask them the same, have multiple different, usually you run a gauntlet, have all the different interviewers ask them some of the same questions repeatedly throughout the day, but slightly differently, just to see how they handle it, just to see if they get frustrated because you can't. You just can't. You got to keep answering the same question over and over and over again. That's just part of it. Do time gate free plays drop chests for that champion in the time gate? Yes, that is what time gates are for. They give you those specific name chests for that champion. So if you run a Briv time gate, it's going to drop Briv gold chests and Briv silver chests. Wouldn't a fast way to get heroes be via time gates for specific chests for specific heroes? I mean, it's not fast because you earn time gate pieces slowly. But it's faster now that there's 4 patrons. So if you get to unlock that time gate piece each week in those patrons, you're now up to earning 5 time gate pieces a week because one drops every 5 days. I started during the last event and I'd unlocked Dritz and Azaka by day 3. Wow, that's fast. Yeah. Did I get super lucky or something? You just moved real quick. I'm guessing maybe you did. Oh yeah, I played all day and night. Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of... So yeah, that's that super hardcore thing I was talking about. You move real fast. Good job, though. Here's a weird thing. I went and completed another party's mission so I could use familiars on A Tale of Two Cities. When I switch back, I now have a full party when I should only have 2 champs. Yeah, that sounds like a bug. I got Dadius from a time gate. Could you please explain in which situations I use the first and second specialization? Ooh, Dadius. I don't use Dadius a lot, just straight up. Where is he? This is me trying to find Dadius. Here he is. Oh yeah, Empowered Orbs is his DPS spec, and Empowered Empowerment on the right is his support spec. So Empowered Orbs is basically his orbs now do AoE and his damage is increased by 400%. So that just screams, "Hi, I'm now a DPS." And then Empowered Empowerment stretches out his skill empowerment buff plus multiplies it, right? I think something like that. Increases the effect of the skill by 200%, plus 50% for each stack of practice makes perfect. Yeah, so yeah. So this is the support, this is the DPS. I just always have to check because I don't memorize. If it's not somebody I don't use, I just have to open it up and look at it. For a recommendation for Reya Reborn, I'm stuck in level 600. Hishizawa, yeah, if you go back and watch the beginning of this VOD, that's what this was about. If I open it up, here's my Reya Reborn formation that I used, and that was Tyrell, Evelyn, Dragonbait, into Farida and Dinar, into Baloth and Calliope, with Grama, Human, and Makos. But it's just going to be, you're just going to have to finagle your formation and try to get you a lot of power out of your back group. You can't rely on ramping damage from your tanks. And use Fire Breath potions. And use potions in general. Isn't Mad Lizard Tiamat? No, I don't think she's mad. I think she's just angry. Can you buy the new core yet? You don't buy the new core, Darth Details. You earn it by doing Split the Party 2. What do I have to do to get to this mission? I cannot find it so far. What mission? What mission? Murazor 71. What mission? Are you talking Reya Reborn? I don't know what the context of that was. Reya Reborn is in Avernus off of Idleglen, so it's a variant. It's right here. So you'd have to get all the way to Idleglen in Avernus, and then you can do Reya Reborn. Takes 40 Adventures of Variants completed. Oh, the current one. It's El Terrell Stand. It's just at the end. So this is it's a funny little map thing. So here's the Idleglen node, right? And then you got to watch the dots. The dots hook back up, and they come up here around El Terrell. So it's right here in El Terrell. Yeah. So it's right at the beginning. They did a kind of a 150, and they looped back and came back up here to El Terrell. Thank you for the clarification. We may have enough champs and champs with skins to make a winged team. Maybe? I haven't looked. Ooh, 6 minutes left and lots of questions. We're going to try to do these real quick, so I'm sorry if it's fast. Are you going to buy Celestial Tyrell? Yes. I want my Tyrell corn. Do you have to buy the Strong Core before you can buy the Speed Core? No. You don't buy the Speed Core. You earn the Speed Core by doing Split the Party 2. Are Time Gates supposed to only drop chests for the associated champions? Yes. I've gotten standard gold and silver as well. That's because those are regular loot drops that just come off bosses. Those happen everywhere. But Time Gates as a reward will give you 1 gold chest for each of the things that you complete. And then every 100 levels you get a unique chest for like a silver chest for that champion. Someone please help me understand why Champion Morgaine caps off paid up front with total gold collected at 445. She doesn't. She doesn't. Morgaine caps based off how far you can push and earn gold. So what you're seeing is that you have pushed as far as you can push and earn gold. So you now have to push further and earn more gold. And I'm at 880 because I have earned E176 gold. So if you hit a point where you're no longer earning gold, like earning more gold than you've already earned before with her, then she's not going to raise her buff. She is capped based off how far you can push and gold farm. You're planning to crack the secret code for Melf's chest. You were lucky last time with the 21. Oh, they gave me the hint though. They gave everybody the hint, Darius, for Penelope's. So did they give a hint for Melf? I haven't watched all of the streams yet. I'm doing that today from Wednesday because I was on 2 of them. I streamed for 5 of those 12 hours, and the rest of the time I was working, I was getting vaccinated, and I was trying to eat dinner. And I streamed for 5 hours on 2 different streams. So I've got to go back and watch those. But yeah, there's still the 2021 hidden combination list that people can work on. But unless they give a hint, I don't usually go try to do anything. How many gold chests can you get in a time gate? 3. They drop every X levels on free play. No. Gold chests are the rewards. Here, I will pick my... Since people are asking, I will pick my time gate champion. I'm going to get Volanya. Gold chests are the rewards for the 3 adventures. There's 2 base runs of an adventure, and then there's a variant. So you get 1, 2, 3 max potential gold chests. Every unique 100 levels that you get to in a free play, so at 100 the first time you reach it, 200 the first time you reach it, 300, etc., just the first time you reach it, like a high water mark, you will earn 1 silver chest. When you talk about dropping like randomly, that's events. But yeah, every silver chests come every 100 levels on unique levels on a free play. But gold chests, you just get the 3. You can show your talent selections for rare talent selections. Like feats. I just threw in these 2 because they were the largest numbers, 40%. You know, I may pay for stuff, but these are just the unlocked ones. I just threw the biggest ones. Hello, I'm new to this type of game. Where can I find a good guide that can explain like I'm 5? Hey! Somebody put it in there. Thanks, Valeomak. Go check out my wiki page. There is a new player reference, aka a guided tour. If you want super hand-holdy walkthrough with links to guides as you kind of need to learn things, that's it. There's some other walkthroughs, or there's some other new player guides on the subreddit under other resources on the wiki. If my style of explanation doesn't work for you, then there you go. Then you can go try the other ones. Hold on. If we need specifically, I mean, I can do this. I can post links. Here's specifically the guided tour. But yeah, check out the subreddit and check out the Discord. Both of those will do you well for help. I think we're caught up. Is it possible to rewatch this? We'll go up a video after. Yeah, the VOD will be available on Twitch right away. And then it will get uploaded to the C&E Games YouTube channel next week. So you can go back and watch from the beginning. I mean, we did the Reya stuff, pretty straightforward. I think the hardest part about Reya is going to be that you need to have all the power right now, currently as the game sits. After we get another soft cap upgrade in the future, so after they raise the level, like the level where these little circles with alliance come in and give effectively more power to the champions, it will be easier. And it won't be as challenging as it is now, and you won't need to get power from other places. But for right now, it is kind of a late mid-game to early end-game goal, is Reya. A new record for questions today. We're up in the 78. We're at 78. Roughly. I think a couple were statements, so we're in the 70s. That was a lot. But we also did longer. We did like an hour and 15 minutes, and we're wrapping up right now. Escarp, thank you for your guide streams and patience, showing us the thinking process behind our decisions for choosing champions and their specs has made the game even more enjoyable. That's the point, right? Like, I don't want to just preach. This is why I said it's not a Bible. I'm not trying to preach. Sometimes I get a little preachy. Sometimes I do. I want you to make informed decisions. I want you to understand that the information is available to you. You can get it. You can process it. You can learn this stuff. And when I try with my guides, I try to give you those foundations so that you can go out and go forth and prosper, because you can go out and find new things that even I wouldn't have thought of. And that's kind of the point. Final question, and then we're out of here. Does the Electrum chest drop gear for the heroes time gate you're in? Electrum chests, as long as you've unlocked the champion. So if you haven't unlocked that champion yet, like if you're still in the first adventure that actually unlocks the champion, you need to finish that, unlock the champion. And then Electrum chests will drop gear for everyone that you've unlocked. All right. That's it, folks. We are going to head out with... What's our musical outro? Ooh, yeah, because somebody asked me what one of my favorite Bardic Inspiration song was. So we're going to go out with Jarlaxle's song, with the Secret Lord of Luskin. This is my favorite partly because I think I wrote a lot of the lyrics for this one, because I know a lot about Jarlaxle, and yeah, I may know a lot about Jarlaxle. Also, this is where the idea that I still want to have happen for the Bardic Inspiration familiar and or mascot of Sordal came from. Swordle the Bard. I think we need an animated sword called Swordle the Bard, and this is where that came from. So you can pick it up in the lyrics. So have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Be safe. Get vaccinated if you can. Get on the lists. Get out there. I just got my second shot. I'm feeling better today. And I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
From his eye patch and his ostentatious hat. His wardrobe is in purple and he moves sly like a cat. Never-ending daggers and the charisma to match. His bracelets sometimes jangle and his boots make quite the noise. A wand that sticks you in your tracks is one of many toys. There's seemingly no end to all the tricks that he employs. He's the secret lord of Luskin. In your side is totally thrusting. Better hope that you've got a tough skin. So beware any fool who trusts him. He's the king of misdirection. He's a proud iconoclast. He's a grand manipulator and his resources are vast. He's a mercenary captain with his full sky to the mast. He's the master of disaster from mental Baron's land. He pulls on threads of intrigue better than a crown matron. He says he's just a businessman, but that's his biggest con. He's